Chapter 1: The Relic of Vespera. Taran Vale's boots thudded against the metallic grating of the ISS Vanguard's observation deck as she stared into the swirling violet maw of the Vespera sector. The nebula's tendrils coiled like serpents, hiding secrets older than the Sundid Age. Her neural link pinged, a priority message from Command. Lieutenant Vale, Recon Team Bravo 6 has located an anomaly. Coordinates attached. Proceed with caution. The words caution and Bravo 6 didn't belong in the same sentence. Bravo 6 was her team, the ones who'd survived the Zintha ambush on KRELLIS 9. If they'd flagged something, it was either a trap or a treasure. The Vanguard shuddered as it pierced the nebula's outer gases. Static clawed at the viewscreen until the ship's AI, a sardonic voice named Aegis, filtered the interference. Approaching coordinates. Scanners detect a derelict structure, non-human architecture. Carbon dating suggests 12,000 years. Taran's breath hitched. 12 millennia. This wasn't just a relic, it was a ghost from the Sirathi-Kelthax War. A conflict that had scorched galaxies before humanity had crawled out of Earth's mud. She assembled her team in the hangar: Garrett Rook, a grizzled ex-mercenary with a cybernetic arm; Lyra Solus, a xenolinguist whose eyes glowed faintly from gene mods; and Jin Maro, a rookie engineer who still flinched at the sound of plasma fire. "Stay sharp," Taran said, adjusting her grav belt. "If the Zintha catch wind of this, they'll swarm us like vipers." The derelict loomed ahead, a jagged spire riddled with hexagonal portals. Its surface shimmered with a bioluminescent fungus, casting an eerie green haze. Lyra ran a gloved hand over the alien metal. Sirathi glyphs. "But these markings are newer. Someone's been here," Garrett grunted, hefting his pulse rifle. "Let's hope they're dead." Inside, the air tasted metallic. Jin's scanner chirped. "Energy signature below us. Something's active." The team descended through a spiraling ramp, their helmet lights cutting through the gloom. The chamber at the bottom stole Taran's words. A massive obelisk floated at its center, rotating slowly, its surface etched with constellations she didn't recognize. Lyra inhaled sharply. "It's a map. A star map. But the systems, they're not in any Concordat database." Garrett nudged a skeletal corpse slumped against the wall, a Zintha scout, its chitinous armor cracked. "Looks like they found it first. Didn't do much good." Taran's neural link flared. Aegis's voice crackled. "Lieutenant, the obelisk is emitting a subspace frequency. It's broadcasting. To where? Unknown. But the signal is being amplified by the nebula. If we don't shut it down." The Vanguard's klaxons drowned him out. Jin's scanner blared. "Contacts. Dozens of Zintha fighters incoming." Taran cursed. The Zintha collective had a habit of claiming relics by glassing anyone nearby. Aegis, prep the engines. Garrett, rig the obelisk with charges. We're blowing it. Lyra grabbed her arm. "Wait, this map? It could lead to a Sirathi fleet. Or weapons. If the Zintha get it, and if we don't destroy it, we die here." Taran turned to Jin. "How long?" The engineer wiped sweat from his brow. 5 minutes. You have 3. As Garrett planted explosives, Taran stared at the obelisk. The constellations seemed to shift, aligning with a system on the edge of Concordat space. "Zentari? No, the coordinates were wrong." "Older," Aegis interrupted. "Zintha carriers have entered the sector. The Vanguard cannot withstand their firepower. Then we'll give them a distraction." Taran activated her comms. "All hands, brace for evasive maneuvers. Rook, Solus, fall back." The first Zintha plasma bolts lit up the viewscreen as the Vanguard lurched sideways. Jin's voice shook. "Charges set. Detonate." The obelisk erupted in a silent flash, the shockwave tearing through the derelict. The Vanguard's engines screamed as it vaulted into hyperspace, leaving the Zintha to swallow the fire. Taran slumped into her chair. They'd survived, but as the stars blurred into streaks, One thought gnawed at her. What did we just wake up? Chapter 2, Echoes of the Sundered Age. The ISS Vanguard shuddered out of hyperspace above a desolate moon in the Lorithus belt, its hull still steaming from the nebula's wrath. Taryn leaned over the tactical console, her fingers tracing the faint scar on her neck, a souvenir from KRELLIS 9. The obelisk's destruction had bought him time, but the Zintha would regroup. Worse, the map's coordinates gnawed at her. AEGIS's voice hummed through the comms. Damage report, primary thrusters at 67%, shield matrix unstable. Recommend docking at Core Prime Beta for repairs. Negative, Taryn said. The Zintha will have scouts there. Plot a course to the fringe world of YMIR-7. We'll lay low in the asteroid belt. Garrett strode onto the bridge, his cybernetic arm sparking. YMIR-7. That's scavenger territory. You sure? Better scavengers than Zintha. Taryn pulled up the obelisk's last scan. The constellations it depicted still defied all astro charts. Lyra, any progress decoding the glyphs? The xenolinguist's holographic workspace flickered. The script isn't Cyrathi. It's older. Proto-Cyrathi, maybe. But there's a pattern here. She zoomed in on a cluster of symbols. These aren't stars. They're gates. Quantum slip gates from the Sundered Age. Jin whistled. Slip gates. Those collapsed millennia ago, or were buried. Lyra's gene mod eyes gleamed. If even one still exists, it could rewrite galactic trade routes. Or warfare. Taryn's neural link buzzed. A priority alert. Aegis, report. Unidentified vessel on intercept course. Signature masked. Weapons hot. The viewscreen lit up as a sleek, obsidian-hulled ship emerged from the asteroid field. Its design was angular, predatory, unlike anything in Concordat registries. Hail them, Taryn ordered. Static hissed until a voice replied, smooth and synthetic. Human vessel, surrender the relic's data. Compliance ensures survival. Garrett snarled. Relic's ashes, more like. Who the hell are you? We are the Vathari. The map belongs to the Firstborn. Taryn froze. The Firstborn, mythic progenitors said to have seeded life in the galaxy during the Sundered Age. You're 5 millennia too late. The obelisk's gone. Then you will suffice. The Vathari ship fired. Plasma lanced the Vanguard's shields, buckling the starboard hull. Jin screamed as consoles exploded. Shields down. Engines critical. Taryn gripped her chair. Aegis, evasive pattern delta. Rook, get to the aft turrets. Garrett vanished into the smoke. Lyra pulled up a star chart, hands trembling. The slipgates, they're not just coordinates. They're keys. The obelisk was a beacon. And we triggered it. Another impact rocked the ship. Taryn's head smacked against the console. Blood trickled into her eye. Jin, reroute power from life support to the engines. We'll suffocate in 2 hours. We'll die in 2 minutes if you don't. The Vanguard banked hard, skimming a jagged asteroid. The Vathari ship pursued, relentless. Garrett's voice crackled over comms. I can't shake them, their armors too. A deafening roar cut him off. The viewscreen flashed as a massive, barnacle-encrusted dreadnought erupted from the asteroid's shadow. Its hull bore the sigil of a fanged serpent, a scavenger kingpin. This is Captain Drax of the Iron Serpent, boomed a guttural voice. That human ship's mine, Vathari. Scram before I scrap you for parts. The Vathari vessel hesitated, then vanished in a warp shimmer. Taryn slumped, relief short-lived. Drax's grin filled the screen. Now, about my salvage fee. Chapter 3, The Scavenger's Gambit. Captain Drax's scarred face filled the viewscreen, his grin revealing a row of filed teeth. Salvage fee's simple, Vale. Hand over the slipgate data, and I'll let you limp back to your Concordat pals. Taryn clenched her jaw. The Iron Serpent's cannons loomed larger than the asteroid field around them. We don't have the data. The obelisk was destroyed. Liar. Drax leaned closer. My slices intercepted your comms. That xenolinguist's been squawking about quantum keys. Hand him over, or I'll peel your ship apart. Lyra stepped forward, her gene mod eyes narrowing. The data's encrypted. Without me, it's useless. Then you'll stay too. Bargain's getting sweeter by the second. Garrett's voice hissed through Taryn's neural link. I've got a bead on their reactor. One shot could cripple them. And get us vaporized, Taryn replied silently. Stand by. She straightened. Give us an hour to compile the data. Try anything, and we purge the files. Drax snorted. 30 minutes. Or I start shooting. The screen went dark. In the Vanguard's makeshift lab, Lyra pulled up a hologram of the slipgate coordinates. The encryption's Vathari. It's alive. Like it's rewriting itself. Jin frowned. Can we trap it in a loop? Feed it false data? Maybe, but Drax's slices will notice. Taryn paced. Do it. Buy us time. As Lyra worked, Garrett cornered Taryn. Even if we fool Drax, the Vathari are still out there. And the Xintha. We're a glowing target. I know. She glanced at the star chart. That's why we're not staying. 29 minutes later, Drax hailed again. Time's up. Taryn transmitted the falsified data. There's your prize. Drax's slices scrambled to verify it. Clever, but not clever enough. The Iron Serpent's weapons hummed to life. A proximity alert blared. A fleet of jagged ships dropped out of warp, their hulls marked with a crimson helix, the Kyrath Alliance. Unidentified vessels, barked a Kyrath commander, surrender the firstborn artifact. Resistance is futile, Drax cursed. Kyrath. Here, chaos erupted. The Iron Serpent pivoted to face the new threat, its cannons blazing. Taryn seized the moment. Aegis, full thrust to the Lorithus belt. Rook, cover our retreat. Garrett's turrets peppered the Kyrath flank as the Vanguard dove into the asteroid field. Plasma fire lit up the void behind them. The Kyrath weren't on any intel briefs, Jin muttered. They're relic hunters, Lyra said. Worse than scavengers. They'll glass planets to dig up Sundid Age tech. Taryn gripped the console. The slipgate coordinates glowed on her screen, a single point in the Tantalus cluster. Aegis, set course for Tantalus. We're ending this. Chapter 4, The Tantalus Gate. The ISS Vanguard shuddered as it exited warp at the edge of the Tantalus cluster, its hull groaning under the strain of spatial distortions. Before them stretched the Zoria expanse, a labyrinth of rogue pulsars and ion storms, their fury muted by the void. At its heart pulsed the slipgate, a colossal ring of blackened alloy, its surface etched with spiraling glyphs that glowed faintly blue. Readings match the Sundid Age, Lyra whispered, her voice tinged with awe. But there's something else, a power source. Jin's scanner flickered. It's not dormant. Defense systems online, and targeting us. Aegis chimed in. Energy signatures consistent with autonomous combat drones. Designation, the Vigil. Taryn cursed. The Vigil's drones peeled away from the slipgate like shards of obsidian, their weapons humming. Evasive maneuvers. Garrett, light him up. The Vanguard banked sharply as Garrett's turrets spat plasma. Drones splintered under the barrage, but more surged forward. They're adapting, he barked. Swarm tactics. Lyra hunched over her console. The glyphs, they're a command matrix. If I can input the right sequence, maybe I can shut the Vigil down. Do it, Taryn ordered, dodging a drone's particle beam. The xenolinguist's fingers flew across the interface, symbols flashing red. It's rejecting the codes. The system's learning. A new alert blared. A sleek Vathari warship materialized off the portside, its hull shimmering with predatory grace. The synthetic voice echoed through comms. Cease your interference. The gate belongs to the firstborn. Like hell it does. Taryn snarled. Aegis, target their engines. The Vanguard's cannons roared, but the Vathari ship danced aside, returning fire. A concussive blast rocked the bridge. Jin screamed as a console exploded, searing his arm. Lyra's screen suddenly flared green. Got it. The Vigil's overriding priority is to protect the gate. If we trigger a fake breach, do it. She slammed a glyph cluster. The drones froze mid-attack, then veered toward the Vathari ship, swarming it in a frenzy. Now's our chance, Taran yelled. Aegis, get us to that gate. The Vanguard dove through the chaos, skimming the slab gate's edge. Up close, the structure thrummed with a low, primal frequency. Lyra's hands trembled as she fed the decrypted key into the system. The gate ignited, its center warping into a vortex of liquid light. Garrett gaped. Did we just open a door to nowhere? Before anyone could answer, a figure materialized on the bridge, a holographic woman with silvered hair and eyes like fractured starlight. You are not firstborn, she intoned. Yet you bear the key of eternity. Taran drew her sidearm. Identify yourself. I am Dr. Kalen Vor, last archivist of the Sunded Age. This gate leads to the Nexus Vault, where the firstborn sealed their greatest weapon. You must not proceed. Lyra stepped forward. Why? What's in the vault? Dr. Vor's image flickered. A reckoning. The Vathari ship, now crippled, launched a final missile. It struck the gate. Reality itself seemed to scream as the vortex destabilized, tearing a rift in the fabric of space. Aegis, Taran shouted. Get us out of. The Vanguard was swallowed by the maelstrom. Chapter 5, The Nexus Vault. The ISS Vanguard plunged through the rift, its hull groaning as reality fractured around it. When the chaos subsided, the crew found themselves adrift in a cavernous void, the walls lined with towering crystalline structures that pulsed like living organs. At the vault's center hung a massive sphere, obsidian, veined with crimson light. The air hummed with a low, discordant frequency that made Taran's teeth ache. Dr. Kalen Vor's hologram flickered back to life. Her voice urgent. You must leave. The Starfall engine cannot be awakened. Too late for warnings, Garrett growled, nursing a plasma burn on his shoulder. How do we shut it down? Vor's gaze swept the vault. The Firstborn designed it to end wars. It consumes stars, all stars, in a chain reaction. My team tried to bury it here, but the Vathari. Lyra interrupted, pointing to glyphs scrolling across the sphere. It's counting down. Someone already activated it. Jin paled. The Vathari missile. It must have triggered a fail-safe. Taran's neural link flared. Aegis's voice crackled. Vathari and Kyrath vessels have entered the vault. They are engaging. Outside, the vault's crystalline walls reflected the flashes of battle. The Vathari warship, half its hull scorched, traded fire with a Kyrath dreadnought. Debris from both sides spiraled into the abyss. They'll destroy us all, Taran muttered. Vor, can the countdown be stopped? The archivist hesitated. There is a control node, but accessing it requires a firstborn gene key. I am not permitted to assist. Lyra slammed her fist on the console. You brought us here. Help us, or we all die. Vor's image wavered. The node is in the engine's core. I will guide you. The team suited up, leaving Jin to pilot the Vanguard. Garrett eyed the airlock. If this is a trap, then we'll take her hologram down first, Taran said, stepping into the void. The vault's gravity was erratic. They floated past jagged crystal spires, their suits thrusters straining. Ahead, the Starfall engine loomed, its crimson veins throbbing faster. Vor's voice guided them through a labyrinth of shifting platforms. Hurry, she urged. The engine's pulse will destabilize in minutes. A plasma bolt seared past Taran's helmet. She spun to see a squad of Kyrath boarders clambering over the crystals. Ambush. Take cover. Garrett returned fire, his rifle peppering the Kyrath. One fell, but more surged forward. Lyra grabbed Taran's arm. Go. I'll hold 'em off. Like hell. You're the only one who can reach the node. Lyra shoved her forward, then activated a sonic emitter from her pack. The crystals resonated, shattering into deadly shrapnel that tore through the Kyrath. Taran and Garrett pushed onward, dodging debris. The node chamber was a hollow sphere, its walls etched with spiraling code. At its center floated a pedestal, and a dagger-sized shard of glowing blue crystal. "The gene key," Vor said. "Only a firstborn descendant can wield it." Taran froze. "None of us are firstborn." Garrett grimaced. "But they are." He pointed to the Vathari ship now docking nearby. "Let's give them a warm welcome." The Vathari commander, a towering figure with iridescent scales, stormed into the chamber. "The engine belongs to the firstborn heirs. You will perish." Taran raised her sidearm. "Take the key and shut it down, or we all perish." The Vathari hissed, lunging for the pedestal. Garrett tackled him, cybernetic arm locking around his throat. "Now, Lieutenant." Taran grabbed the crystal. It seared her glove, flooding her mind with visions, galaxies collapsing, stars snuffed like candles. Gritting her teeth, she plunged it into the node. The engine shuddered. Crimson light dimmed. For a heartbeat, silence. Then the vault trembled. Vor's hologram reappeared. Frantic. "The shutdown sequence has initiated a collapse. Escape now." The vanguard soared into view, Jin blasting a path through falling debris. Taran and Garrett leapt into the airlock as the vault disintegrated behind them. On the bridge, Lyra stared at the vanishing rift. "Did we stop it?" Vor's image faded, her final words solemn. "The engine is dormant, but the key remains. Others will seek it." As the ship limped into hyperspace, Taran clutched the crystal, still glowing faintly in her hand. Chapter 6: The Key's Burden. The ISS Vanguard drifted in the derelict graveyard of the Lorithus Belt, its hull scorched and engines sputtering. Taran stared at the gene key, its blue glow reflecting in her tired eyes. The crystal had burned her palm, a faint scar now etched like a constellation. "Radiation levels stable, but life support's at 30%, Jin reported, his bandaged arm trembling as he worked the controls. "We need parts. Or a miracle." Garrett slumped into a chair, his cybernetic arm sparking. "Miracles are extinct. Let's pick a fight with scavengers instead." Lyra's gene mod eyes flickered as she analyzed the key. "The crystal isn't just a tool. It's symbiotic. Your neural patterns are syncing with it, Taran." The lieutenant stiffened. "Explain." "It's adapting to you, like it's alive." Aegis interrupted, his voice strained. "Incoming transmission. Origin encrypted." The viewscreen fizzed to life, revealing a hooded figure silhouetted against a starscape. "Lieutenant Vale, you carry a relic that does not belong to you." The voice was human, but cold. "Surrender it, and the shadowed compact will spare your crew." Taran's grip tightened on the key. "Never heard of you. We are the keepers of equilibrium. The Starfall engine's power cannot be wielded by children." The figure leaned forward, light glinting off a silver pendant shaped like a fractured sun. "You have 24 hours. The screen went dark. Garrett snorted. "New cult, new problems." Lyra pulled up star charts. The compact signal originated near the Garan Deeps, a black market hub. "If we can bait them there, maybe we can disappear. Or," Jin said quietly, "we go to Kayles." The name hung like a detonation. Kayles, a quarantined world, glassed during the Sundered Age. Only fools and fugitives braved its radiation storms. Taran stood. "Set course for Kayles. Aegis, scrub our trail." The planet's surface was a cracked wasteland, bathed in the sickly green light of its dying star. The Vanguard touched down in the shadow of a skeletal megacity, its towers clawing at the ash-choked sky. "Scanners detect life signs," Aegis reported. "Human, 2 kilometers northeast." The team geared up, the gene key secured in Taran's belt. Outside, acid rain hissed against their suits. They trekked through ruins, past crumbling statues of forgotten gods, until they reached a bunker sealed with Sundered Age glyphs. A figure emerged, an old woman in patched Enviro armor, her face scarred by radiation. "Took you long enough," she rasped. Lyra gasped. "You're Dr. Soren Vera, from the pre-collapse logs." The woman smirked. "Call me Vera, and I've been waiting for that." She pointed at the gene key. "Come inside. The compact's already here." The bunker was a museum of relics, rusted drones, holographic codices, and a shattered slipgate ring. Vera poured murky synthcaf into chipped mugs. "The compact works for the Firstborn's rivals. They fear the engine's power, and you." Taran frowned. "Why help us?" Vera's gaze hardened. "Because I'm the one who buried the engine. And I know how to destroy it, permanently." She tapped a star map. "The Forge of Atraxis, a Sundid Age facility. It can annihilate the key, if you survive the trials." Garrett crossed his arms. "Trials? Of course." A proximity alarm blared. Aegis's voice crackled. "Shadowed compact dropships inbound." Vera tossed Taran a data chip. "Go. The forge is in the Andromeda Vale. And Lieutenant, don't trust anyone." As the team fled, Taran glanced back. Vera stood at the bunker entrance, a plasma rifle in hand, facing the storm. Chapter 7: The Forge of Atraxis. The ISS Vanguard breached the Andromeda Vale, its engines screaming as gravitational tides clawed at the hull. The Vale was a graveyard of dead stars, their remnants swirling in a kaleidoscope of dust and radiation. At its heart loomed the Forge of Atraxis, a jagged moon-sized construct, its surface bristling with obsidian spires and rivers of molten ore. "Readings off the charts," Jin muttered, his hands dancing over the damaged console. "That place is alive." Lyra studied Dr. Soren Vera's datachip. "The Forger's trials are designed to test worthiness. Fail, and, well, the last test subject's atoms are probably part of the decor." Garrett checked his rifle. "Let's hope the compact's too busy staring at shiny rocks to shoot straight." Taran gripped the gene key, its pulse syncing with her heartbeat. Aegis, stealth approach. Landis at the northern spire. The ship descended, skimming a lake of liquid tungsten. As they docked, a tremor shook the Vanguard. Outside, the forge's surface shifted, forming a labyrinth of glowing crevices. "Paths unstable," Aegis warned. "Structural integrity at 19%. "Then we move fast," Taran said, sealing her helmet. The first trial was heat. The team navigated a chasm where the air itself combusted sporadically. Jin's suit coolant leaked, his breaths turning ragged. "Left tunnel, seals ahead." They dove into a narrow passage as flames engulfed the corridor behind them. Garrett's cybernetic arm jammed a crumbling door open, revealing a vaulted chamber. At its center stood a pedestal holding a molten orb. Lyra deciphered the glyphs. "Place the key here. It'll judge your purity of intent." Taran hesitated, then set the gene key on the pedestal. The orb flared, projecting a hologram of a firstborn warrior. "Why do you seek the Forger's fire?" "To destroy the key. To prevent the Starfall engine's awakening." The warrior tilted its head. "Sacrifice requires cost. What will you surrender?" Before Taran could answer, plasma fire erupted. Shadowed compact soldiers stormed the chamber, their leader, a woman with the fractured sun pendant, smirking. "The key belongs to the compact, Lieutenant." Garrett and Lyra returned fire, ducking behind pillars. Taran grabbed the key as the orb dimmed. "The trial, it's not done." The compact leader lunged, her blade scraping Taran's visor. "You're too late. The Forge will remake the key, not destroy it." The holographic warrior boomed, "Intruders. Judgment is rendered." The chamber floor split, swallowing two compact soldiers into magma. Taran tackled the leader, grappling for the blade. "Aegis, trigger the pedestal." The AI's voice crackled. Activating. The orb exploded in a shockwave, hurling Taran against the wall. The gene key clattered to the floor, its glow now feverish. Chapter 8: The Crucible of Echoes. Smoke choked the chamber as Taran staggered to her feet, the gene key's pulse thrumming in her skull like a second heartbeat. The shadowed compact leader lay motionless nearby, her fractured sun pendant cracked. Across the room, Garrett hauled Lyra from beneath a collapsed pillar, her gene-mod eyes flickering weakly. "Jin's down," Garrett shouted. The engineer slumped against a wall, his suit torn, blood pooling at his side. Taryn activated her neural link. "Aegis, medical override, stabilize him." Unable to comply. "Forge interference is disrupting all systems," the AI replied, its voice fragmented. Lyra coughed, gesturing to a glyph-lit archway. "Next trial, we have to keep moving." The gene key flared in Taryn's grip, its light searing through the haze. Visions flooded her mind, a firstborn fleet burning worlds, the starfall engine's crimson veins devouring stars. She gritted her teeth. "Garrett, carry Jin. We finish this." The archway led to a cavern where the air shimmered with holographic mist. A voice boomed, echoing in firstborn tongue. Lyra translated, "The crucible of echoes awaits. Face your shadow." The mist coalesced into figures: Taryn's deceased father, his uniform singed from the KRELLIS-9 ambush; Garrett's mercenary crew, betrayed and left to die; Jin's sister, lost to a Kyrath raid. The illusions lunged, weapons raised. "Don't engage, they're psychic projections," Lyra warned. Garrett froze as his former commander sneered. "You ran, Rook, coward." Taryn's father leveled a pistol. "You failed them." The gene key's pulse sharpened. Taryn screamed, clutching her head, and the projections shattered. The mist dissolved, revealing a pedestal holding a dagger forged from star metal. Lyra inhaled sharply. "The final trial. You have to choose: destroy the key, or wield it." Footsteps echoed. The shadowed compact leader limped into the cavern, her face bloodied. "Pathetic. You think sacrificing yourself will save the galaxy? The Firstborn's legacy is power." She raised a detonator. "I'll bury us all before letting you win." Garrett fired, but her armor deflected the shot. Jin stirred, his voice a rasp. "Taryn, the Forger's core. It's below us." The gene key blazed, its light fusing with Taryn's scar. She knew what it wanted. "Aegis, overload the ship's reactor, target the core." "Confirmed." Detonation in 90 seconds. The compact leader laughed. "You'll die here." A footnote. Taryn plunged the star metal dagger into the pedestal. The cavern quaked, fissures splitting the floor. "Garrett, get him out." "Not without you." She shoved the gene key into his hands. Its glow dimmed, the symbiosis severed. "Go." The Vanguard streaked skyward as the forge imploded, swallowing Taryn and the compact leader in a silent inferno. In the ship's med bay, the gene key lay inert, until it flickered once. Its light echoing a distant star. Chapter 9, The Ashen Legacy. The ISS Vanguard limped through the void, its hull scarred and engines sputtering. Garrett Rook stood in the dim med bay, staring at the inert gene key. It had not flickered since Taryn's sacrifice. "We're being tracked," Lyra said, her voice hollow. She pulled up a holo display showing a fleet of shadowed compact warships closing in. "They want the key." Jin, pale but stable, gripped the pilot's chair. "We can't outrun them. Not like this." Garrett's cybernetic hand clenched. "Then we don't run." The compact fleet surrounded the Vanguard, their flagship hailing with cold finality. "Surrender the relic. This is your last warning." Garrett activated the comms. "Come and take it." The Vanguard dove into the storm of fire, Garrett manning the turrets while Lyra rerouted power to shields. Jin, teeth gritted, steered through the chaos. "Garrett, the gene key. It's reacting." Lyra shouted. The relic glowed faintly, its light seeping into the ship's systems. Aegis's voice crackled to life. "Unauthorized access detected. Syncing to Firstborn protocols." The Vanguard shuddered. Ancient glyphs flared across its hull, and the ship transformed, armor plating shifted, weapons thrummed with alien energy. What the hell? It's bonding with the ship. Lyra cried. Taran's neural patterns, they're still in the key. The Vanguard became a storm of vengeance. Garrett's turrets fired beams of searing blue light, shredding compact hulls. Jin whooped as the engines surged, weaving through the carnage. But the key's glow intensified, uncontrollable. It's overloading, Lyra warned. We have minutes before it blows. Garrett grabbed the key. Get to the escape pods. Now. Chapter 10, Starborn. The escape pod jettisoned as the Vanguard's core detonated, vaporizing the compact fleet in a supernova of firstborn light. Garrett, Lyra, and Jin drifted in silence, watching the remnants fade. Lyra broke the quiet. The key's gone, but the data. Taran synced it to Aegis. The forge's location, the engine's secrets, it's all here. Jin nodded. We finish it. For her. Months later, a new ship, the Sunded Flame, approached the edge of known space. Its crew, seasoned by loss, carried a singular purpose: to dismantle every trace of the Starfall engine. In the void behind them, a glimmer lingered, a holographic echo of Taran Vale, her smile etched in starlight.